Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. As the pandemic descended on the country and our government and our president just utterly failed to protect us, it felt like we had entered by far the worst phase of the Trump presidency. Something even worse, darker, more dangerous than what had come before it. And yet somehow, the last few days have felt even worse. Unrest in the streets of Minneapolis, a police station, burned down last night as a community responded with grief and outrage and anger to the killing of George Floyd. And the indelible, enraging image of that white police officer with his knee on the neck of a black man who was saying, "I can't breathe," until his life was snuffed out, his hands in his pockets. We learned today that the officer allegedly had his knee on Floyd's neck for 2 minutes and 53 seconds after Floyd became non-responsive, keeping his knee on his neck all that time as he was dying. And as the nation grapples with yet another killing of a black American by a police officer, and masses of people once again take to the streets across the country tonight in protest, the background condition is that the pandemic is still out there. Hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't stopped in any real way. While different places are opening up, there are still places where the virus is surging, including in George Floyd's home state of Minnesota. You cannot find someone worse at this moment to be president than the person we have. A man who tweeted last night that, quote, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." A callback to a racist line from a police chief in the 1960s, as well as infamous segregationist George Wallace, who used that phrase in his 1968 presidential campaign. I should note that Trump kind of tried to walk that back today, sort of, for a press conference this afternoon where he suddenly departed without taking a single question from reporters who shouted questions about the situation in Minnesota as he walked away, having announced the U.S. is pulling out of the World Health Organization in the midst of a pandemic. Trump then later read from a prepared statement expressing sympathy with the Floyd family, also vowing that, quote, "law and order will prevail." The president's approach to this comes as zero surprise to anyone who's followed his trajectory, from birtherism to his demonization of immigrants to his defense of white supremacist protesters in Charlottesville to his literally instructing police officers to violently abuse people in their custody.
Like when you guys put somebody in the car and you're protecting their head, you know, the way you put their hand over, like, don't hit their head, and they've just killed somebody, don't hit their head. I said, you can take the hand away, okay?
What a funny riff. The person with the country's most important job is the worst person imaginable for this moment. And it just feels today, over the last 48 hours, like something is breaking in front of us, or even more correctly, that things that have been broken for a very, very long time are somehow getting more broken. The country in the midst of a once-in-a-century cataclysm. 40 million people out of work in 10 weeks. We've never seen that before. More than 1.7 million infected by the virus. 103,000 dead over the course of just about 3 months. And the dead and the sick are disproportionately African-American, Latino people in the front lines who have to work, driving buses in Detroit or meat packing. They've been hit hardest by the pandemic. The exact same fellow Americans disproportionately that die at the hands of the police officers. And we have a president whose entire political career, all of it, revolves around berating and demonizing and insulting that same group of our fellow Americans. Without any leadership, it is left to everybody else to do what we can in favor of justice and democracy, to just kind of soldier on day by day. That's how things have been now for years, but particularly months in the pandemic, whether that's the small things that we do to protect ourselves from the virus and the choices that we try to make to protect loved ones and our fellow citizens, or to protest the outrageous injustice of a man dead at the hands of the state amidst a pandemic, crowded around other people, which itself is a risk. Just as we're all trying to wrestle through this, to try to do our best. Those protests continued across the nation today. They appear to have had some effect. Today, the ex-Minneapolis police officer who held his knee on George Floyd's neck as he was dying, Derek Chauvin, was arrested, charged with manslaughter and third-degree murder. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman said the investigation of the other 3 officers present was ongoing.
The fastest we've ever charged a police officer, okay? Normally, these cases can take 9 months to a year. We have to charge these cases very carefully because we have a difficult burden of proof.